the Isle of Siptah introduces a whole new way of playing Conan Exiles. With new environments, creatures, mounts, and new materials for the cities of your dreams. Explore dark dungeons and uncover the mysteries of the island's black heart. Shipwrecked, starving, and thirsty, you must learn to survive on the mysterious Isle of Siptah. Explore the landscape. From wreck-strewn beaches and hidden coves to dense forests and ancient ruins. Fight the savage beasts that inhabit the island. Scout the island on horseback or charge headlong into the fight on the back of the new rhinoceros. Salvage shipwrecks to build your first shelter and take advantage of mighty redwoods for added protection. But beware, for a vicious storm rages at the heart of the island, and otherworldly horrors stalk within. Traveling or building within the storm will attract the attention of powerful enemies from the outer void. Inspired by the ancient structures of the island, you can construct a mighty fortress and strike forth from a bastion of strength. In the struggle for dominance with other castaways, you will need thralls to fuel your war machine. Unlocking the mysteries of the island are the keys to its domination and the key to getting thralls. Explore and fight your way through ancient vaults, the last bastions of the elder races, and uncover their knowledge. In the depths of the vaults, you will discover great treasures and sigils of power. Surges of wild sorcery erupt from the Black Tower at the heart of the island, which summon groups of humans to the island. You must defeat many enemies before you can capture some as thralls, but be ready to defend yourself from challengers. The battle for control will be ruthless, and only the strongest will survive.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our Conan Exiles Isle of Siptah work from home developer stream. That was quite a mouthful. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Natasha Rösli. I am the Funcom Engagement Director, and I'll be your host for tonight. I hope wherever you're joining us today from, that you're safe and sound during these chaotic times. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. So chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you that this is not just one dungeon? It's actually a whole new map and a lot of new content, including a whole lot of new dungeons. So tell me in chat. We have tons of, we have a 2. I'm not too happy about that 2. Lots of 10s. There's an 11. There's several 11s. 3,000. Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. That's awesome. We are as excited as you are. Let me tell you, the team has been working very hard on this expansion, and I am, for one, am very excited for you to try out this new content. So let me just get a few things out of the way first. If you don't follow us on our social media channels already, be sure to do so. They are linked at the bottom of this overlay. It's Conan Exiles on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. Also hit that follow button on Twitch and hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you get a notification when we go live next time. I know we've been a little bit lack with streams, but let me assure you, we'll work on that. We'll get better. There will be more streams. We do want to talk to you. We really enjoy engaging with our community, and it will happen. That's a promise. Yes. Also, what I quickly want to go over first is this stream is actually split into different segments. You can see them right here on the side. We have the first segment that is Why Siptah, where we go over a little bit the project, the development, the lore of Siptah. Why did we choose Siptah, like as a name, for example, as well? A little bit, not too much spoiler there, but we will try to talk a little bit about it. How it connects between how Siptah fits into the not old game, but the base game, and how they fit together too, what you can use on the old and the new one, and everything, the new player experience. And then the second segment is new ways to play, where we talk about all those exciting new mechanics that hopefully are equally interesting for completely new players, as well as vets who have clocked thousands of hours in Conan Exiles. So there should be something for everyone. And then we have a segment where we talk about visuals. We show you the new armors, we show you the mounts, we show you the new building pieces, and also some of the graphical improvements that come with Siptah, which I'm also very excited about. Yes, but almost forgot. Almost the most important segment. We also have a community segment where we talk to one of our internal beta testers. We do show you some screenshots from our internal beta. We talk about that a little bit more, the internal beta with Scott later. And we do also some giveaways. We have some keys for you, of course, at the very end. But enough talk from my side. My first guests will probably need a bigger window, not only because they're not just one developers, there's two that's joining us now from Oslo, live from Oslo. I'm incredibly happy to have Joel Bylos and Scott Jr. joining me now. So hello, Joel and Scott. How are you two? The last time we saw Scott, you were actually in North Carolina. You were stuck in North Carolina. I think they're muted. No, I can't hear you. You are muted. You are muted. Nope. No, there we go. Yes.
How about now?
Did you hit the button on the microphone, Scott?
Probably. At some point.
Well, welcome you too. Maybe you want to introduce. That doesn't help. But maybe you want to introduce yourself for those viewers who haven't joined us in a stream before.
Sure, I am Scott. I'm the project director. I am in charge of development on Conan Exiles. And this is...
I am Joel. I'm the creative director.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was really great to take time out of your super busy schedule. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about Siptah as a project and development, specifically like with COVID and everything. It must have been quite challenging, right?
Sure, yeah. We started development on it in November of last year, I believe. So it was originally supposed to be a little bit different than it ended up being. We were going to make a smaller map, but then due to COVID and some delays, we ended up adding some additional features. But the development has come along really well. I think I'm very proud with what the team has ended up delivering, and really excited to see how launch is going to go on Tuesday. But the COVID obviously caused some problems. You see, Joel and I are here in the Oslo office, but our Portugal studio and our North Carolina studio are still working from home. That has caused some issues, right? Just not being in the office, not being able to communicate with each other. Also, our testing partners and external partners, Testronics, for example, they have been working remote for a lot in Romania. So
there was one good thing that came out of the whole COVID thing.
What's that?
You got to stay at my house for a while.
Oh, I did. When I arrived in
Silver lining.
Oslo back in beginning of August, I had to quarantine for 10 days, and I was supposed to have an apartment, but it was a holiday or something here, or a weekend, and my landlord didn't feel like giving me the keys to my apartment, so I stayed with Joel for quarantine. So it's very nice.
There you go.
And we got to play with chickens and
bonding.
Chickens.
Yeah.
Proper bonding.
Yeah, exactly.
Developer bro bonding. That's great.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
So Scott, can you tell us a bit about how the two connect, like the base game Conan Exiles and Isle of Siptah? How do those two connect?
So they're still the same core game there, and the same crafting system and harvesting system and thralls, etc. But Siptah is a new island, so when you start, you'll see why your character's on Siptah. I mean, Joel can talk about this a little bit. It's a side story, if you will, or it's located in a different area. So
it's important to mention
the character goes there.
It's important to mention that you actually do start with a new character from scratch.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the conception of Siptah is that the player is being transported to the exiled lands when there's shipwrecks on the way there. So they're still an exile. They're still one of the Conan Exiles, but it's a different setting for the players. So they wash up on this beach at the start of the game on this island, and they have no idea what's going on. And that's where it all starts. So yeah, that was the idea, and it runs in parallel to the timeline of Conan Exiles, the original exiled lands map. And so there are mysteries about the two locations and how they're linked together, and that's something players will get to explore as well.
No spoilers there. There's a lot of things that can be discovered in game. That's hopefully going to be very exciting for the players as well. So one thing that players, of course, are curious about is how do DLCs work? Like the things you get in Siptah and vice versa, right? Can you tell a little bit about that?
Sure. So when you're playing Siptah, if you've bought DLCs for Conan Exiles, they will work in Siptah. So any of the cosmetic DLCs or the writers, that all works for you in Siptah. So you're able to build any of the building sets, have the visual cosmetics, the culture packs. That's all fine. Also, when you buy Siptah, you can build the two building sets that are included in Siptah in the exiled lands. You can use the cosmetic armors that are from part of Siptah in the exiled lands. You can use the Rhino mount in the exiled lands, and there's something I'm missing. Well, anyway, the building sets, the armors, and the Rhinos, those all work in the exiled lands.
And how does it work for server owners? That's definitely something. Or how do you choose, basically, how do you play? That's a question that came up from the community, of course, as well.
Yeah, so either this week or on Monday, we'll post a guide, essentially, on how to set up your server. The short version is there's an engine.ini file. You just make a small edit to that, and you can select Siptah or enter Siptah for there. Another really cool feature is that with Siptah, we've changed the base game so that we now support community-created maps. So these will have to be loaded as a mod, but you'll be able to sort by them from the map UI. You'll be able to select them, and essentially, mod makers can make their own maps now and really make their own games.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things I'm really excited about as well. Like we've opened up the creative valve for the people who want to make their own experiences in the Conan universe. Like now the maps you can make your own, and they're available. You can get them out there for everyone to try out. And we have a bunch of culture themed expansions, but those places aren't available in the world because we don't have the capacity to make all the we don't get the time to make a map of Tehran, but you guys can, and that's going to be really cool. I really want to see what people do with it.
Same. There's also a lot of potential for like community competitions there as well, where we actually give them a theme and you surprise us with your creations. I'm very excited about the map importer as well.
Yeah, so the documentation we'll release will give a little bit of highlights on how to set up height map and put assets in there and do all that fun stuff. It won't be super in depth. A lot of that will be up to the players to figure out. But yeah, we're very excited to see what we can do.
Let us just quickly go. We did a test live patch today that changed the temperature system. Maybe you can say just quickly something about that, because that's something that will change both for Conan Exiles and for Isle of Siptah, right, Scott?
Yeah, we did 4 changes to live that are included in Siptah, which will impact the entire game, so Exiled Lands and Siptah. One of those is a quality of life change to the temperature system. So now, if you have armor or clothing that give you heat resistance, they won't negatively impact you in the opposite environment, right? So if you have something that works really, really well in the cold, it's not going to adversely affect you in the the warm instead. So this will allow you to wear, you can do your fashion show and wear what you want. But in the extremes, you still need to be dressed appropriately.
Yeah, makes sense. I think that's a very good change. I think the community in general has reacted already very positively to that. So if you have any input on those test live changes, of course, make sure to jump on the test live servers because you have the opportunity to test it out and give us feedback. That's one of the reasons we do this. Talking about testing, we did actually an internal beta as well for Siptah, right, Scott? Maybe you want to discuss that quickly as well, because I think it went really well too, and it was exciting to have players actually be part of that experience and help us in development.
Yeah, we've been running an internal beta for the past couple months, actually. We did one earlier in the year with very, very few people, just to get a quick impression of what we're doing, and then we expanded out to a lot more people recently. And their feedback has been invaluable. We actually completely redesigned one of the systems based on feedback from the beta. Dennis, who you'll talk to later, he's been slaving away, changing how the surge works. So yeah, they've been amazing.
Trolling away, Scott. Trolling away.
Yeah, trolling away, yeah.
Joel. Well, Joel, since you haven't actually talked that much tonight, which is surprising, so tell us a little bit about the lore of Siptah. Like this, no, obviously we won't get any spoilers out of you. That's absolutely logical, and we don't want those. But you can definitely tell us a little bit about Siptah, right, and its background.
Yeah, I mean, I can give the core tenets. Oh, tenet. Yeah, sorry, movies. So there's this story by Elsbrag de Camp and Lynn Carter called The Gem in the Tower. And a part of the sort of brainstorming session around figuring out what we were going to do with this map was, the guys wanted to make an island. And there's the Pool of the Black One, which is the classic Howard story, but it's a little bit, I would say, too defined exactly what's on that island in that story. So we wanted to find something that was a little more of an unexplored experience, because it gives us a lot of room to maneuver with the lore, and it allows us to tell both a story that kind of leans into the lore, but also goes very hard in making sure that we develop the sort of the game lore, the Conan Exiles world lore. So the Isle of Siptah, what you know is that, or what you can infer from the story is that there's this sorcerer called Siptah. People whisper about him in the dockside taverns of Argos, and they talk about, if you sail too close to this island, there's a magical storm that will wreck you on the shores. And so the player gets caught up in this, and really from there it's about exploring the island, figuring out sort of the backstory. It's told in this very, we don't like to do this this very strong, like, it's not a cinematic every 5 minutes. It's very much this, like, put the pieces of the puzzle together yourself, figure out what's going on. You can find Siptah's journals scattered across the island, his commentaries on things, and you sort of see his journey, and it all sort of accumulates towards the center of the island and the tower at the heart of the mystery. So
very nice. So it's a little bit like Conan Exiles, the original map, where you also find tidbits and little lore things that you can learn, and so I think that's always very exciting, especially for the people who like to explore, right? So that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So people still keep asking. So yes, you will make a new character on Siptah, but how do you choose between the two servers? Scott, do you want to quickly explain that?
When you access the map server browser, there's a new drop-down feature, or a drop-down panel where you can select which map you want to load.
Exactly. So another question came up that if there's new attributes and things on the new map, but Scott, actually, you already addressed that. It's basically the same base game in terms of attributes and things like that, right? There's no changes.
There's new weapons and items to find, but the base feat system, if we make any changes to that, it would be to the entire game and not just to one of the maps.
Exactly. And another concern that some players had was that will there still be development on Conan Exiles as well, or will the focus mostly be on Siptah?
We will probably try to focus development on both maps at the same time. So by adding new tools to the toolbox, it's a survival game. We really feel that by adding new features, it's better than adding content to one of the maps.
Exactly. Great. Thank you for confirming all this. Anything else you'd like to add or tell the community? Scott, Joel?
Anything you want to talk about?
No, I
we
mean,
haven't talked yet.
I just want to say there's a couple of things. There's a couple of minor things that I would say. Like one is that a lot of people. I was watching some live streams of the trailer reveal yesterday, and I saw a lot of people speculating beforehand and asking us about like, oh, why don't you do something with Red Sonja? We don't have Red Sonja, but we've got Valeria in this one. She's a character you can meet on the island.
Oh, spoilers! No, it's
that's
fine.
a bit of a spoiler, but it's not a giant.
No,
spoiler,
that's fine. It's fine.
She's
Totally
in the
fine.
cover art. It's hard not to.
That is true. That is very true. Yes.
So yeah, you know, you can meet Valeria of the Red Brotherhood is one of the classic lore characters, and she's voiced by Larissa Gallagher, who people probably know from Firewatch. And she's great. She's a great voice actor, and it's a great character to meet. In addition to that, I just wanted to say that we have a lot of we've tried to build this. We have the vaults, and we have these sort of ancient structures all over the island. And Conan really is this really interesting setting where cultures after culture after culture have sort of risen and fallen, and it's these cycles of like decay and falling into the past. And players, Isle of Siptah is no different from the Exiled Lands. You'll be exploring like layers of the past, like an onion, and just kind of digging deeper and deeper, and it goes all the way back to nearly the dawn of mankind. So I think it's going to be pretty epic for people to find out exactly what's going on. And final point that I had in my brain was just there's a lot of Howard and Lovecraft were really good friends, and so Robert E. Howard and Lovecraft, they used to send each other letters all the time and discuss different ideas, and Conan has half a foot in the Cthulhu mythos, and so I would say that those influences, particularly Lovecraftian influences coming into the brutal world of Conan, is something that you can look forward to seeing as well in the Isle of Siptah.
Yes, there will be definitely very strong Lovecraft elements to find on Siptah, which I am personally also very excited about because I love Lovecraft quite a bit. I mean, not him as a person, but the whole universe, obviously.
Sure.
Just to make that clear. Yes, I think that's pretty much it for you two. Thank you again so very much for taking the time to joining us on this stream and talk to the community. Also, for those of you who think we haven't answered enough questions or there's even more, we're very aware there will definitely be more Q&A developer questions also after release. We also have some blogs coming your way explaining some of the new features, some of the changes. So don't worry, we will try to be as as transparent. Thank you, Ryan. As transparent as we can. So if there is something, we will also look at chat and then note those down so we can answer them at a later point in time. But yeah, I will let Joel and Scott go. They might actually go back to work. They've been working very hard, and we'll go straight into our next guest, which is joining me actually from North Carolina in the US.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. A totally
Thank
new
you.
face on stream. This is Dennis, and he's joining us from North Carolina. He's one of our lead designers on Conan Exiles. Don't worry, Alex is still with us as well over in Oslo. He just thought he's giving the spotlight to someone else for once. And also Dennis has been very closely designing actually, some of the very unique and very exciting new features. So Dennis, before we dive into that, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit? How long have you been with Funcom? What do you do?
Hey. So I have been with Funcom since 2008. I started when we launched Age of Conan, and I started working in customer service. Throughout the years, I've had probably 13 or so different jobs.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
Just eventually moved my way into development, which is what I always wanted to do. I knew from when I was in second grade that I wanted to make games for a living, and I've just been working toward it the whole time. This year, after I came back from a brief vacation, I was promoted to lead designer hand in hand with Alex. So essentially, that's just because we have two teams working on the game, and we need to be able to manage two sets of designers.
That makes sense. So as I mentioned, chat, don't worry, Alex is still around too, and we'll definitely see him on stream again as well. So, Dennis, there are quite a few very cool, unique new mechanics on Siptah. And while we have like weather effects on Conan Exiles on the original map, like the sandstorm, there is snow and rain, there is a quite different weather occurrence on Siptah, right? It's less natural. So why don't you start telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Joel touched on this a bit when he was talking, but essentially in the story, there are whispers to sailors that if they get too close to this island, that they may become shipwrecked by it. And I don't want to, just like Joel mentioned, I'm not going to spoil the story entirely here, but essentially what you'll see whenever you play is that this storm is one of the many mechanics that are in the map. And it'll be something similar to the way the sandstorm works, where it's something that periodically occurs on the map. It's not going to be there all the time. It's going to have very unique effects compared to the sandstorm. And if you watch the developer video, it talks a little bit more about what's going to happen in that storm. The reveal video. And one of the things that we had initially was that we had the idea in the Exiled Lands that the sandstorm would cause creatures to spawn and attack you. And we kind of wanted to live up to that promise in Siptah and say that we have this storm that occurs, and then while you're in it, you're attacked by monsters. And as again Joel was mentioning, we have a foot in the Lovecraftian mythos, so the monsters that attack you are weird and otherworldly.
And very scary, actually, super scary. Mm-hmm. There's a few of those monsters you will see in the video, that in the reveal video or in the announcement video. In here, it's more like exploring the storm. You will see you will see one of the monsters actually here in this segment. Also, the storm has this lightning thing going on, and whenever the lightning comes down, there is a new batch of monsters being spawned, right, Dennis?
That's right.
Exactly. So there was just one there that we saw. All right, so this feature is also leading into another one, right? They are actually connected, which are the vaults.
That's right. So again, without giving out too much information, there are several major systems that come into play in this map, and all of them are intertwined. So participating in one lets you participate in another, and so on. And the vaults are essentially our new dungeons. There are 14 vaults in the Isle of Siptah. All of them have unique monsters. And this goes back to the storm as well. I actually can't even tell you the number of new monsters we've added. There are new monsters, new attacks. It's a whole slew of new stuff. But as you adventure into these vaults, you'll find new monsters and new treasures as well.
And each vault has like its own theme, right? They have their own boss monsters. They have their own kind of inhabitants, if you want to say. They have their own like color scheme and everything. I think they're incredibly beautiful. And also what I'm excited about is that they actually have puzzles as well, right?
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. They're gorgeous on the inside. One of the best things I think Conan Exiles has always had going for it is that it has really fantastic art, and working with our artists locally and our remote office ZPX, we've been able to pump out an awesome amount of new art. And our team of designers here also worked on, as Tasha mentioned, the puzzles inside. And each of the vaults have some unique mechanics and puzzles to work through as you go through them.
That's what I am personally very excited about, because I always felt that dungeons it's not just about fighting your way through, but it's also like figuring out which combinations to use, where do I actually have to go, because some of those dungeons are also vertical now. They're not just like horizontal, so you have to actually find your way up and down and sideways, and almost a little bit labyrinthy as well, depending on which of the walls we're talking about.
Yeah, we have a couple of level designers that put a lot of consideration into the layout of the dungeons, and once you get in and play them, you'll be able to tell. It's not extremely similar to the other dungeons in Conan Exiles, but it retains that same idea of kind of going into the belly of the beast when you enter one.
And it's of course the loot that you get in there is incredibly important. specifically for the game loop, right? Because there is things that you won't get anywhere else that you kind of need to do the next mechanic. And we're going to talk about. There's, of course, also legendary weapons that you can, legendary recipes, I think, as well, but also legendary weapons that you get from the bosses that are very unique and new as well. But yes, let's go into the next mechanic, the surges, because they're actually connected directly to the vault and to the storm as well.
Yeah, so the surge, as we mentioned in the reveal video, is going to be the way that you obtain thralls on the Isle of Siptah. As you play, there won't be just static camps of thralls that you would encounter, and you kind of just pick and choose the ones that you want out of it. You have to cause this event to occur. Once the event occurs, some thralls will essentially be delivered to you. And at that point, you have to knock them out as you normally would and take them back to your base. There will also be another event happening with the surge that causes some to appear outside of these areas, which we call these ley shrines, and you'll find that out in the lore as you read through it. But at a ley shrine, you can summon thralls to fight and capture, and outside of that, you may also find some that have been placed into the world as a result of the surge, and that'll happen in a very theatrical, very obvious way when it happens.
You can also kind of control how tough and how strong the thralls are that you can also capture, right? And what I was wondering actually, because Surge reminded me of, is it a combination of Storm and Purge, or is that just a coincidence?
I think that's a coincidence. That it was named before I started working on it. I can double check and we can release that.
It just occurred to me like earlier. And what's interesting about the Ley Shrine Surge is also that, of course, you actually trigger them in a specific way that is linked to the vaults. And also there is kind of a danger of doing this though, because like we just see here now, it's actually possible for other players to like infiltrate and disrupt you trying to get those maybe very powerful thralls.
Yes, as I mentioned before, the thralls that spawn into the world it'll be very obvious that they're there. And it's no exception at the Ley Shrines as well. Whenever that event occurs, everyone on the server is going to know what's happening. And anyone that, if you're playing on a PvP server, wants to come and steal from you, you may have to be prepared to defend. One thing that I know I'm pretty sure we don't have in the footage that we've recorded is that there's a deployable defense at the Ley Shrines that'll help you defend against those players. But another thing I'll leave for you guys to find on your own.
Yeah, and some people in chat are asking us like if they're like weak thralls, so you can actually directly influence how strong your thralls are. But of course, the stronger there's a specific way you can directly influence where those thralls are coming from. So how they look from the regional map, like for example from the south, from the north, etc. And also like how strong they are. You can directly influence that. But there's of course a challenge as well, because the stronger they are, the more difficult they are to fight and to actually then thrall, right? And is something you can add to that?
Yeah, so essentially it'll come at a cost. If you want very weak thralls and you just need some guys, then the cost will be very low. But the stronger thralls you want to get, if you want to get those purge thralls, you want to get like, the top dog thralls, it's going to be a challenge.
Exactly. And there's even bosses in there, right? From what I understand.
Yes, there are.
There might be bosses in there.
More new monsters.
More new monsters. And when I played, there's like some interesting surprises in there as well. So you can get like really interesting things from the Exile lands to Siptah. But we'll let you discover that yourself. Yes. I think that was mostly what I wanted to talk about. Unless you think there's anything else you'd like to add, Dennis? I can see the wheels.
There's one thing I'd like to talk about, I guess, because I think it's a very big deal.
Mm-hmm.
On the Isle of Siptah, one of the new recipes that we've added comes whenever you learn how to interact with the Ley Shrines. And that recipe is called the Delving Bench. And The delving bench lets you use materials that you find on the island to learn how to research schematics for legendary weapons. So you as a player now, instead of going to grind mobs to get weapons and having to use repair kits to repair them, can learn how to craft legendary weapons and repair them yourself.
Those legendary weapons
weapons,
are,
armor, etc.
and they look very cool too. They have like special effects and special names, and are quite unique as well. So I think that's
Yep.
going to be very interesting for players to hunt for, and then also show off, of course. A little bit of a status symbol. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Dennis, for talking about these new features. I am going to switch over to make sure the community sees also some of the amazing art that we just briefly talked about. So I have a new guest joining me now. Give a very warm welcome to Bruno from our studio in Portugal. Hello, Bruno.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Bruno's very nervous before his stream, so I don't think he has ever done anything like this. So be nice chat. So yeah, Bruno is a lead artist over in our CPX studio in Portugal. Maybe you would like to introduce yourself quickly, your history.
Yeah, so my name is Bruno Nunes. I'm from Portugal. I've been working on Conan Exiles, I think, since 2015. Work on the Exile lands, on a bunch of DLCs, and now recently on the island of Siptah. But prior to join Funcom, I was doing animation for a long period. I was like animating for 8 years.
Wow.
And yeah, I started in the industry in 2005 or 6, and just been working in games since then. Yeah, and recently this year I was named the lead artist on the project. That allows me to work closer to people, closer to artists, art directors and producers, doing time estimates, and a lot of meetings.
Yeah, I can imagine. Those are unfortunately important as well. I'm not a big fan of meetings, but they're important. Anyway, so let's jump right in. One of the things that I'd like to talk to you about is the worlds. You shared some really cool concept art with us that we see here on the screen, which ties into that each of the world is actually very unique, right? And has its own theme and its own light setup and such. What can you tell us about this concept and what the inspiration was behind all those?
Yeah, so we knew the vaults were the refuge of the elder races, and they went there to find protection from the island hazards. And we knew that they were living there for thousands of years. So each vault has its own race, and they just evolved with the years there. And those were the inspirations that we got. Like, we knew that we wanted to make this look like a temple, and the vaults are very inspired on Gothic architecture. And it's one of the things that you're going to notice once you start visiting the vaults. It's like the scale of it. Everything is made to look very big and tall so that the play feels small inside. After all, it was built by giants.
Yeah. And one thing that's also very exciting is the fact that there is some new technology, or not new technology, but we did some improvements graphics-wise as well, with effects and things, right? Like fog and all those little details that make a world really come to life, so to say.
Yeah, that's more apparent on the outside. We are making use of volumetric light and fog. That's something that I think it improves the quality of the landscapes and stuff like that. Not much inside the vaults. The vaults, what we exploring the vaults where's the illumination. Each vault has different illumination to help convey the idea of each. Like, it's a separate. Each vault has its own dedicated lighting to bring more of the emotions there.
Like we see here, for example, this particular vault that has might or might not have Serpent Man theme is like very green in lightning, and then we have vaults that are very blue. We have vaults that are red and blue, and we have walls that are super red and warm, and I absolutely love them. And we also have walls that are super light or super golden. There's a few examples here in the footage that we're showing, and I personally think that's really fantastic because it really reflects, like here's the one that I was just briefly talking about. Everyone is so unique, and it's very like, it really reflects the race that is kind of living in it, right? And that's fantastic from a design point of view.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into something completely different. Armor, the new armors for Siptah. So we have 3 new armors, like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, light, medium, and heavy. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about the concept before we show the actual armor in game, what the inspiration was behind those.
So the armors are based on the elder races. Well, they are elder races armors. They were used to enslave humans. And because of that, we tried to bring the same aesthetics as the vaults, same inspiration. You'll have a lot of elements of Art Deco there, a lot of the same materials, color schemes from the vaults. In this one, tier 1, you'll see that it's very ornamented. This should be like more like a dancer or entertainer. Yeah, it has all those chains there, golden chains similar to the grated walls in the vaults. Yep.
Yeah, and here we see it in action. We'll show it here on a female characters. We will show the tier armor on a female character, but there will be a version of the male the blah blah blah. Sorry, sorry, chat. Sorry, Bruno. There will be a version, like a group video with the male version as well. Yes, so this is the tier 1 armor. Yeah. And then we have the tier 2, the medium one, which we have the inspiration and the concept art here. Yeah. Right in front of us.
If you notice, they all wear masks, and that's there for a reason. Yeah, it's to hide their humanism. It's to hide the human aspects of the slaves. Wow. Yeah.
I see. So there always goes a lot of thinking, and there's a lot of like, it's not just nilly-willy, oh, let's make a cool mask. There's actually lore behind this, and it's linked to the story and everything. It's very interesting. I think it's really interesting for chat to know as well.
Yeah, this one is more based on the blacksmith. One cool thing to notice is that the armors were meant to be always where they would never be taking the armors off. Once they dress them, they are like locked into their bodies forever. That's why you have all the locks there on the back, and
they also look quite dirty. Like if we look at it now in game, you see that it looks dirty and worn, right? It's not like this is not clean cloth or anything. Especially like the panties there look very much worn. So that makes total sense. I actually quite like the top of this. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but I actually do like the top. Even though it probably wouldn't give me that much protection for my tummy, but I do actually like to combine that top with some more heavy trousers. Yeah, and we'll see that the dehumanization of the face with that specific mask. That was really interesting, that little that little fact. Right. Yeah, and then of course we have the tier 3 armor, the heavy one.
Oh yeah.
Which looks very different from the others.
Yeah, this is like the pit fighter, the warrior. Like only the best slaves would be granted to use this armor. It resembles a lot of the vault lines with the same ornamentation, a lot of Art Deco elements there. Same materials. It's made to look aggressive, with all those pointy shapes. I'm very pleased with this one. Again, it has the locks, the golden locks there in the back. The warrior would use this forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same concept.
Right.
But this is like.
And this is what it looks in game. It's really stunning. It's really amazing. It's very nicely done. So I'm not going to talk about the armor stats right now because this ties into the new temperature system. So it doesn't really make that much sense at the moment, but we'll definitely cover the details of these new armors when we talk a bit more about the temperature changes to the game. Right. And my next part that's coming up is player building pieces, which is in general one of my favorite aspects of the game. And first we have the Flotsam set. So tell us about these concepts. Where does it come from? What's the idea behind?
Well, this is like it's the first thing that you encounter when you start playing the map. You'll be surrounded by a lot of shipwrecks. And this is the first thing that you start to do, is to collect all the wood planks to make your first shelter. So we wanted something that looked a little bit improvised, something that you do very quick, but but for that we wanted to also use a lot of the boat parts that you would be finding on the shorelines. Yeah, we wanted this improvised look. That's what we wanted with this one.
Like scavenge look, right? Like things that you find at the beach because you were stranded. And I love this. I really do love this a lot. So let's take a look how this actually looks in game. I think it looks really stunning. And one thing I have to say, because you can actually build a tree cities with this particular set, because you can use the foundations on trees, like specifically on those really big red trees that we have on the map. You can of course build on the floor as well if you want that on the ground, but you can actually make proper tree cities or water world bases. Yeah, exactly, that someone just mentioned in chat. Another thing I just need to mention is this reminds me so much of Kelethin from EverQuest times, the wood elf city in EverQuest, and how often I would fall to my death from that. But I have such fond memories of that, and it reminds me so much of that, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. And you can really see the details as well in terms of there's like ship wheels in there, there's like masts in there, there's like a lot of planks of course and wood that are literally collected from like the shipwrecks that you find around on the beach.
One of the good things that we experienced with this set is the light reacts very well to it. Like if the holes are all ripped off, the roofs they have a lot of holes, and the light comes in when light comes in. It creates a very good effect, especially with the new lighting system that we have now.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense with the next set that we're going to look at as well. What I just wanted to mention as well, here you see exactly those different elements, like the ship wheels and like even like the figurines that might be collected from those from the beach. Also, if you wonder, chat, about what kind of tier this is tier 1. So this is basically the new sandstone set, except it uses the same resources, except am I still a bit loud, by the way, chat? Sorry. Let me turn down my microphone a little bit. There we go. Might be better. Wood and stone is just basically reversed in this set. That's what it is. Yes, but this is tier 1. This one I am incredibly excited about. Stormglass.
Yeah, this one has a lot of features.
Yes. So tell us all the details.
Okay, so I think this is the first time we introduce glass on a building set. I don't remember anything like this before. But this set is pretty much an extension of the vaults. We wanted to recreate the vaults on a building set. So it's using the same materials, the same huge black stones, and the golden ornaments. Yeah, but the new thing is you can have now roof windows made out of glass.
Mm-hmm.
You have you can have like a whole facade made out of glass if you want, and it's cool because you can be playing. You can be outside and see what the players are doing outside and trying to get in, and they both can see you from inside as well. So it's a new thing that we have going on here. There's a lot of
you'll see it in action here. It's fantastic. It's like you can literally see through it. So if you build a castle like this and you have an army incoming, you will see where they're coming from. You will see them because you see real time through the glass. You'll see the sunlight coming through the glass. It's absolutely beautiful. It's breathtaking. I can't wait to see what you, chat, you players, what our community is doing with all these, both the Flotsam set, which is very pirate inspired, and when you have this super like what's the term, like it's gold. It's like, you know, it looks expensive and it has glass and everything. It's
It was
it's
made to look
absolutely
luxurious
fantastic.
for sure.
Yeah, it's luxurious. Yes, that's a
Yeah.
good word for it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can see here the sunlight coming through the window. It's absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
It was built with vertical construction in mind. We wanted to make this idea of like skyscrapers. You can have vertical construction and almost build a city like this.
Right. Yeah. The thing is, there is elevators for all of those as well. I saw some players in chat say that, oh, we need faster elevators, and yeah, we should, I guess, maybe, because there's a lot of elevators specifically here as well, because you can build on rock foundations. Like, you can build some of your foundations into the rock, so you can have like really tall elevators and things, as we've seen. I think I just noticed that my Rhino footage is not being added. I'm gonna just add this quickly because obviously I want to talk about the Rhinos. So I'm gonna just do that ad hoc. Let me see. Just adding a new source. So we can actually add the Rhino footage as well, because obviously we want to talk about the Rhinos. There we go. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna move this a little bit back. So we have, there we go. So, oops, and now our cameras are gone. Hang on a second. Sorry about that, chat. Work from home stream. Here we go, all right. I need to just resize that quickly and then we should be good to go. Here we go, so, sorry about that, chat. Professional stream right here. Work from home. All right, where are the Rhinos? Here it is. Let me hide this and this and this and this, and then we should be at the Rhinos. Can only be minutes. Where are the Rhinos? Here we go. I need to hide this one and this one and this one and this one, and there are the Rhinos. Excuse me, chat. Sorry, now we lost the overlay. There we go. Excuse me. Music is too loud. Yes, absolutely it is, because I just added that now. Here we go. I'm sorry about this, chat. And I turned down the music as well of the video. I apologize. Sorry about this. We had a little bit of improvisation right there, because there were so many videos and so many cool things that we wanted to show you. So the new Rhinos, let me tell you about the Rhinos quickly. Maybe actually you want to start with some art information, Bruno?
Yeah, we have a few skins for the Rhinos. There's yeah, we have a lot of variety choosing a Rhino on the wildlife. There's a bunch of wildlife, and Rhinos have a lot of skins. Yeah, this is all the animations for this were all refined so that the players could feel that they are driving a tank. I was just playing the other day. It really feels that you're riding a massive tank. It feels right. It's really fun to play with the Rhino.
That's a good lead in anyway, because oops, we need to also loop this video. All right, that's because there's a lot of things involved. Let me just loop this so it starts again. Here we go. All right, here we go. So let's start this over again. So we have 3 different Rhinos here, 3 different Rhino skins. And we have 3 different travel saddles that are light, medium, and heavy. They're shown here. And those travel saddles are mostly influencing stamina and speed. Because the Rhino, compared to the horse, has more hit points and it has more stamina. But it's also slightly more difficult to control because of that. So you are way harder to knock down from a Rhino than from a horse, but you will have a harder time like turning fast on a Rhino, for example. So we also have 2 additional saddles, which we'll see in a little bit, like this one.
Yeah, basic.
Exactly.
I think we have basic.
The cavalry saddle.
Yeah, based on Cambodian shaman. This one, same ornaments, and this is I think metal cast. with a lot of African tribal elements. And
So
yeah,
the cavalry saddle actually has high max speed, but it runs out of stamina way quicker. While the war saddle that has all those like heavy things around literally turns your Rhino into a tank. So you have way more hit points or way more stamina actually. So it's even harder to knock you from your mount, but it's also way slower. So there's like you can kind of decide what kind of play style you'd like. Do you want to be a tank or you want to be somewhere a bit more flexible, right? I am generally going for the more flexible characters. That's the reason I still play a rogue type character with medium armor and daggers. I don't know, chat. What do you say? Would you prefer do you prefer a tank to ride a tank, or do you prefer something that's more agile? Will Rhino deal building damage? It's actually a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I need to check that. Bunny mount. Tank all the way. Maneuverability for the win. I like the fact that chat seems to be very split on this. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. If I want agile, I use a horse. Exactly. So you have these tank, harder to control, Rhino. All right.
it's not gonna be hard to control at all.
Well,
It feels right.
That's true, but it doesn't feel as, it doesn't react as fast as the horse, right? It's like if you want to turn fast, still you can still do the sprint turn thing, but it's still not as fast as a horse. Especially if you want to ride in a circle, you have to make a way wider circle than you do with a horse. So it feels right, like you just mentioned. It just feels right. It's great. All right, I think that with that we have the art, the new assets, the building sets, the armor, the Rhino covered. One important thing that I want to mention is there is a white Rhino that will be showing on screen right about... No, after this section actually. And that Rhino is specifically and unique to early access buyers. For PC, for like right now. So if you do get the game now in early access, you will get this unique white Rhino skin that only you will have if you get the game in early access for $19.99. By the way, it's $19.99. Let's just wait for it to show up again so we can look at it in all its glory. We also didn't cover it with a big saddle, so you can see what the skin looks like. Oh, I forgot to mention actually, the Rhino does have two different attacks. It has a charge attack, so when you charge into someone, it will knock down and damage everyone in its way. This is the early access Rhino skin that is for everyone who gets the game. No, not $1,999. No, $19.99. And the Rhino also has a maul attack. So if you hit space, if you're not sprinting, you can't sprint and use that attack together. But if you hit space while you're not sprinting on the Rhino, it will do a swipe attack and hit everything in front of you. I think that's important to mention as well. Not PvP relevant, I'm not so sure. If you charge into an army, it does quite a bit of damage, I think. All right, so Bruno, was that so horrible? Was it okay?
No, it was fine, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Chat is super nice, so I think they like to see new faces as well. We like to introduce new faces and new developers to the community. So thank you very much for talking a bit about the visuals of Siptah. That was definitely very interesting. And with that, I'll let you go into the weekend, hopefully, or maybe a little bit more work. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna continue working for now.
Damn, of course. Software development, it never stops.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure having you on stream. And I am going to switch over to someone else who is actually not a new face on stream. Hello, Nicole. How are you doing? Oh, wait, there you go. Yeah, you need to.
There we go.
Yes,
okay.
perfect.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Nicole.
Hello, and hello, chat. Yeah, it's been a while since April, I think.
Yeah, last developer stream. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I wish I also had some really nice dog paintings in the back. But
you do?
I said I wish I did.
Oh, you
but
did, like Dennis. Dennis had like 2 dog and a cat painting in the back, which he told
They're very
me
cute.
actually off stream chat that his wife painted those, which is super nice of their
Oh, I
pets.
didn't know that. That was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, he told me that was super nice. So Nicole here is one of our community managers for Conan Exiles. Most of you definitely know her from the forums, from social media, from everywhere really. She is our little fairy, our, I don't know what could we say? She's our good godmother, like taking good care of the
Oh, that's
community
very cute. Thank
and the
you.
players.
Yeah, I try.
So we also will have someone else joining us for this segment, which I am quite excited about. I'm actually
Yeah.
gonna see if I can switch to Discord for this and call her. Let me see. We'll just do that right now. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Kaya.
Hello.
It's so good to have you on stream. So we have with us here, unfortunately not with the camera, but with her lovely voice, we have KiahOnFire joining us, one of our content creators. I'm so glad. Thank you
Yay.
so much for joining us. That's amazing.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's great to see this all coming finally out, you know.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
finally. She just spoiled a little bit, but Kaya was actually one of our intern or like closed beta testers. She has been with Siptah for a while and given her feedback. But I'll let Nicole and Kaya have been working together quite a bit during the beta because
Yeah.
Nicole was very involved in the internal beta with our testers, and Kaya, of course, on the tester side. So I'll let you two discuss this a little bit. While we're also looking at screenshots from our beta testers, by the way, the screenshots that you
Yes.
see right now are all from testers.
We've had incredible screenshots. But yeah, I just want to say that everybody who was in the beta has been amazing. It's been and they've been invaluable. And it was really fun to be a part of. I feel like I've gotten really close to a lot of them. And yeah, Kaya was a part of it, and that was awesome. But yeah, I think a lot of people in chat recognize you, which is awesome. You have an amazing YouTube channel where you put all kinds of tips and tricks and suggestions of how to play. But I guess we could just start off with like, how did you get into Conan and how did you start making videos for it?
Oh wow, yeah. So I started playing Conan back in like early 2018. So it's been about like 2.5 years now. And it really like sparked my interest due to like the way you play it and enjoy it. There's like so many ways you can do that. I just love it, you know. So it's funny enough, how I came about the game was actually word from Firespark at the time. I'm sure you know him.
Yeah, of course we do.
Yeah. But we had a friend in common, and I worked for them as a community manager. So you know, so when the game came, well, when you were about to release the full game, back then we did a mini series together on YouTube. And I believe he came in at episode 3, and we were going to go defeat that big black hairy spider boss. You know that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
So you imagine how that went early level. It wasn't good. But yeah.
I'm sorry. I just thought I'm gonna start a giveaway for a Siptah key while we chat
Oh,
a
good
little
idea.
bit. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. So if you write ! Siptah in chat, you should be able to enter for the giveaway.
Make sure you got that H at the end. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We are running.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kaya.
No, you're good. You're good.
What I thought is interesting that you mentioned that this whole, aspect of creating your own story, right? I think that's an incredibly strong aspect of Conan Exiles because we give you so many tools. Like you can use mods and soon with the map importer, so you can literally build your own story. You can build and play your own story. You can create your own world, right? And I think that's something that is so interesting because you can tell a story. You can tell your own story. You can tell a story for other people, and I think that's one of the strongest aspect of Conan Exiles.
Yeah, the RP community is incredible.
Exactly.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
strong. Someone else mentioned or asked in chat, How can we join the beta? Well, like we will notice you if you do content for Conan Exiles. We love our community and our content creators. We are definitely we can definitely also improve in letting them know, definitely. But as a start, if you send me a DM on Twitter, it's at Tasha with SCHROE. Please, if you do create content, let me know. I'm always happy to talk. And also, just send us screenshots, tag us. If you have a video, tag at Conan Exiles or hashtag Conan Exiles, so it's easy for us to find, so we can see what kind of content you are creating. We wanna see it.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome that you
sweet
guys
content.
reached out and everything, but I was really happy, speaking about the beta, to see so many like modders in there and all of that. I was really happy to see them there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We've been trying to find new ways to also, make sure the modders know that we appreciate them. I mean, there is a specific Discord for the modders, of course, where quite a few of our developers are very active on purpose, of course. But like from the community side or from our side, we can definitely, or we definitely have plans to highlight our modders better as well, because they are the bread and butter of Conan Exiles. And specifically for RPG communities, it's just absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see what they come up with the new map importer as well. This is going to be freaking amazing.
And it was pretty important in the beta to get people that were experienced in different areas. So like for building and RP and PvP and all of that, just to get, and the modders and streamers and all of that, just to get perspective and feedback from all corners, pretty much.
How has that experience been for you, Kiah? Like with interacting with a little bit more the developers, or giving like direct feedback on something that is still in development?
I really actually appreciated being able to, give the full feedback. I did like a full, I always kept the forums posted if I found a bug or anything. And they were really helpful. It was nice to see, like, when you found something, maybe like a few days later, that bug would get patched. And it was just, it gave you a whole new kind of respect on it. Just seeing how it works on the inside. Just massive respect to them and their game, They were doing a lot for it.
That's really nice of you to say. I think the team really appreciates. I think the team really appreciates that too, because the thing is that that was one of the ideas with the beta, of course. So we have a little bit of a longer lead up time, so we can actually react to feedback from the community, because sometimes it's just not possible in terms of how we already plan our development. And then feedback comes in, and you've already set your deadlines and everything, and your milestones and your cutoffs for those specific deadlines and milestones that you have to keep. But with having a beta like that in place, and Scott touched on that a little bit as well, it gives us way more leeway. It gives us better planning as well, and it's just really great to get the feedback from the community. All right, you have about 25 seconds to enter exclamation mark Siptah.
So many people.
Yes, exclamation mark Siptah. We have only over 1,000 people who entered this giveaway.
Who's gonna get it?
Yeah. Oh man.
10 seconds. So exclamation mark Siptah if you.
Everybody seems to be spelling it correctly too, so that's good.
I noticed as well. I was like, well done, Chad. I'm proud of you. And we'll pick a winner. And we'll do some more giveaways too. Don't worry about it. We'll pick a winner right now. And that winner is Alpha Echo Star. Congratulations. You are a proud new inhabitant of Siptah at least from the 15th of September. Congratulations. Can you send us a DM on Twitch? That would be fantastic. And then Nicole can maybe get back to you with a key for release. Perfect. All right. No way, they say in chat. Yes, way. Congratulations. We need another drum roll and things. We'll work on that. We'll do it a bit more like, yay. All right. What do you say, girls? Do we want to chat like for 5 more minutes so we can do another giveaway?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, let's do that. We'll chat another 5 more minutes and do another giveaway. All right.
I did want to ask Kiah, so since you've been playing for a while now, what would you say is like your favorite part of the experience, or just like playing like in the map and stuff?
Ooh.
I know, I
That's
know.
a really
You can
tough
pick more than
one.
one if you want.
All right. I do have a couple. I gotta say though, it's gotta be the Elder Vaults. It really has to be. They just win it for me, especially the climbing one that you showed on the trailer with the cages.
Yeah.
That one's my actual favorite one, and I just loved it because it was so different with all the puzzles that they have. It's not your normal dungeon.
Yeah.
It's something you need to like use your brain a little bit more, which I actually really appreciate. So, and there was this other one with I don't, am I allowed to say this? It's like it fills with water and it's really scary.
Oh yeah. I actually we did show. I mean, there's some footage in the video, and I also used some footage when we talked about the waltz with Dennis. And I love that too. I actually got stuck in that one when I played it for the
Oh,
first time.
really?
I got lost. Yeah, I'm horrible. That's the reason I'm also called the headless chicken, because I get lost everywhere. It's
Oh.
the worst.
Yeah,
no.
aesthetically, like the underwater one, like I don't even know if I know the name of it. I don't know if I want to say it just
No,
'cause I
don't.
don't want to spoil.
Shh, 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 shh.
Okay. Yeah, just aesthetically, yeah, it's all very, very pretty.
Yeah, like we talked about that earlier, that I just love the fact that not only the puzzles, but that each of them has like its like unique feel and theme and challenges.
Yes.
I and it's all linked to the race that's kind of living there, right? So it's fantastic. I can't wait for our players to experience those as well.
So until we
yeah.
don't pull a Tom Holland.
All right. Alpha Echo Star, aren't you on Twitch? It shows me that you are on Twitch.
I can do that after the
We
stream.
can get back to you after the stream, so no worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that way I have more time to do this.
Yes,
that stuff.
exactly. All right. I'm just gonna pick a second winner now.
Do it.
Here we go. Nicey 1717.
That's my favorite
Congratulations.
year.
1717? What happened in 1717? I don't know. Something. All right. So, Nicey, are you in chat? Let us know.
Someone was like, "That's not my name. Try again."
Yeah. Nicey, 1717. Yeah, okay. I'll just do another one. The last one for tonight.
Why not?
Yes. And we can do another giveaway next stream video.
Yeah. I did have one more question for Kiah.
Go ahead.
And that's like, so obviously, like we said, you have a YouTube channel that's full of tips and tricks for people. For people first playing, do you have like one hint or like maybe just one suggestion that you would give people for starting out on Siptah? I mean, if you don't know, no worries, but like, yeah.
No, I got one. When you're if you're on the beaches, you'll see like a ton of shipwrecks. There's some hidden chests around the place. Definitely go and check all of them out, because that'll get you really nice and set up for the start, because you'll get all this like, you get some nice tidbits on loot, so it's quite nice if you go and get those.
A very good tip.
All right.
Also, do not build in middle of the map. That's all I'm saying.
Did you have personal experience with that? Maybe. I hear you. It's both tips are very valuable. Chat, listen to Kiah. Listen to her. All right. I'll pick one more winner, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight. Wendy Dreadful, congratulations. You're also the happy recipient of Isle of Siptah key, and you're a new homeowner, I guess, on Siptah very soon. All right. So you winners, please send us a DM on Twitch if you can.
If not, I will find you.
We'll find you. That sounded very ominous.
I know.
I will hunt you down. We will find you. Anyway, so that was it for tonight's stream. Remember, chat, if there are questions, more detailed questions that we haven't answered either in Scott or Joel's segment, in Dennis's segment, or in the asset segment, we will definitely get back to it. We will keep an eye on our social media channels, on our forums, what the questions are. We already have even more questions that we know that you are wanting answers to, but we also know that there's some blogs coming out, and there's more more content coming out where we explain all those things in details. So don't worry, we hear you. We will answer your questions as much as we can. And yes, I think with that, we'll just wrap it up for tonight. Kiah, thank you so very much for joining us. It was lovely having you. It was lovely chatting to you. We hope we can do that a little bit more in the future as well, to have like our content creators on stream again as well, show their creations, talk to us about why they're actually playing Conan Exiles, why others should be playing Conan Exiles maybe as well. Remember again to follow us on our social media channels, Conan Exiles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit that follow button on Twitch and the subscribe button on YouTube. I'm sounding like an influencer right now, right? Hit that follow button. Welcome to my channel.
And
Please do remember
to check out Kiah's channel, KiahOnFire.
Yes. Remember to follow. Actually, we should paste that in chat. You see, I'll do that right now.
Thank you.
Restream is being difficult. We'll definitely mention it as well in the recap of the stream. KiahOnFire, make sure to follow her, subscribe to her on YouTube, and check out her videos. She makes fantastic videos, especially also if you're a new player to Conan Exiles. Remember, Conan Exiles is currently in a free weekends. It's also, the base game is also 60% off, 65% even off, I think, if I remember correctly. And Siptah is coming out on the 15th, and Siptah is going to be a completely fresh new start. So if you're new to Conan Exiles, you can absolutely play Siptah if you want to, and you can jump into the free weekend and actually get a little bit of a taste what Conan Exiles feels like, and then jump into Siptah. I'm sorry, I just hit my microphone. pro host here. You can jump into the free weekend right now to check it out, and then also try Siptah if you want to on the 15th of September on Steam. Nicole, thank you so much for joining me as well. Absolutely. It was lovely having you on stream. We'll have to do that sometime again, sometime soon. Maybe make it happen. I know it will happen. I'm just joking right now. So yeah. But again, Kiah, thank you so much for joining us today. Also, chat, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We love you very much. We hope you will enjoy Siptah. We hope you're excited about it. And we will try to answer all of your questions as good as we can very soon. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.